Hello, welcome back. So today we're going to look at our own strength, your own strength, and how to access more of it, how to use more of it. Don't you want to do that? I would certainly like to. So don't let me speak for you. But really, I'm speaking for pretty much everybody that's interested in spirituality and on the spiritual path is that we want to know ourselves. We want to be able to access and to tap into our true strength, our true power, which we know, despite how we behave sometimes in the world, we know it doesn't come from the gym and bicep curls and leg day. Especially leg day, right? It doesn't come from leg day. It doesn't come from all the cardio we do or all of our economic activity to earn money, to have a bigger, fancier house with sexy new countertops and things like that. And we know that it's not about that and that it's internal. So let's spend a few minutes on a new part of the text, chapter 3, section 5 here. We've moved on to this particular section, which, as all sections do, has a lot to say. Yeah, this one's called Beyond Perception. And we know that in learning to perceive truly or clearly, we're going to eventually move beyond perception to where we are and have never left. And of course, we're having a completely different experience here with everything that irks us. So we're reminded right here in the very first paragraph of this section that we only use a fraction of our real strength, of our real power. We only access a little bit of it. And what does that equate to percentage-wise? I don't know. When I was a kid growing up, I was frequently told that people only use about 10% of their mental capacity. And I thought at the time that there were plenty of my classmates that if we were using 10, they were using 6 or 3.5, right? Or something like that. But the point is that we're capable of so much more. And really, it's not about more, is it? It's that we are capable of clearing all of this drama and releasing it from our lives. We're capable of taking down the wall between who we really are, truth, and who we appear to be. Right here. Yeah, right there. Right. And while we're perceiving, while we're in this world, so to speak, apparently, we appear to be here, don't we? While we appear to be having this weird, weird experience, has beautiful moments to be sure, but those are interspersed with acute suffering. So it's really a crazy situation when you think about it. It's a crazy situation. And when we're perceiving subject object, me, you, us, them, a perceiver, and an object or a person perceived outside, apparently, of us, while we're in this, nobody really knows anything. It's not knowledge. And we can safely say that nobody really knows anything because we're stunned. The mind is stunned and confused. And this is a process of beginning to wake up. And it can seem like quite a lengthy process. It can seem like decades or an entire lifetime, or if you go in for the idea, more than one lifetime, multiple lifetimes. It can seem like quite a process. And here in the world, our conditioning continues to speak to us, doesn't it? It continues to throw up situations that make us mad. Yeah, that frustrate us, where we want to blame, we want to judge, we want to do something. It's a really important point here. Knowledge does not involve doing anything. It simply is. God simply is. Love simply is. And there's nothing to do. So, here in the first few paragraphs, Jesus again refers us to the idea of making and creating, and how badly we've confused the two. So, if you're new to the thought system of A Course in Miracles, making something is what we do when we identify as an individual, as an ego, as a human being, man, woman, child. We identify with our nationality. We identify with our profession, with our career. We identify as a fan of a certain football club, as always, as opposed to another, always, right? And we have all of these identifications. Making is what happens when we see ourselves as individuals. So that's the Course's definition of that. Creation is how we really are. There's a difference between making and creating. So we make things in the world. We make the football club, and we make our kits, and we appoint a manager, and we train, and all of that against another team, always. Yeah, and that's just an example. It's just an example of the separation continuing to play itself out. Nothing against football. I love it. I watched the World Cup along with many of you. I was glued to it, especially the final. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. So no one's saying don't enjoy the activities in this world. Pay the light bill. If you want to watch something on TV, watch something on TV. It's really important that we show up in this way, because even as we do our deep, deep inner work, our true forgiveness work, we're apparently here, and there are many people that only we can reach. So as we do this work, it becomes pretty clear, and perhaps it's become really, really obvious to you, that the world needs you at your very best, forgiving and releasing everything that crosses your path. Oh, yeah. It needs you to show up and flip the light switch on. There are people out there that only you will reach, because your message is the one that's going to most resonate with them. You do not have to do as I'm doing and start a YouTube channel and teach A Course in Miracles or any other form of spirituality. You may not ever want to sit down in front of a camera and microphone. This is my own personal directive. Yours can look quite different. And what I invite you to do is to ask your inner teacher, to get in touch with your inner teacher, your guide, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, your guide or guides, whatever you call your inner teacher, to get in touch with it and ask for guidance. There are people out there that only you will really deeply connect to. And we're not always aware. In fact, I'm very seldom aware of who they are. So that is why I continue to turn on the camera and microphone and share this course with you, and along the way, share some of my experience. It's really important because we never know who may be listening. And your particular way of reaching people is going to look differently on the surface. That is what we refer to as the form, the outward form. The content, the essence, if you want to call it the heart of the matter, right? The content, the essence is exactly the same. It's you showing up and forgiving the Son of God. Truly. People need you to be at your best. And if you recognize that you're not a body, an ego, an individual self-sustaining survival unit, truly, if you recognize that, doesn't mean that they do. So we show up. We show up, we go to work, we wish someone good morning. And we don't have to radically change our behavior in order to practice spirituality on the deepest level. Remember, this course is not a religion. It doesn't tell you that you should shave your head and run off to the Himalayas or to South America, right? It doesn't tell you anything like that. It's not that way. It's a self-study curriculum in which you learn under the guidance of your inner teacher. It's powerful. When we make things as an apparent self-sustaining survival unit, it's always out of a lack or a perceived need. Perceived. It's a lack or a need. We lack something, so we make it. We need, so we think, to cover ourselves against this weather. So we invent something called a shirt. And there are different categories, of course, and different colors and different textures. Some are long sleeve, some are short sleeve. Some are a Henley like this. Some are just a plain t-shirt. Some have a collar, right? Some are button down. There's all kinds of different shirts, clothing. That's simply one example of something that we make. Money, idea, made out of a definite perceived lack, right? That's an example. As is everything in the world. And it's not like anything in this world is good or bad. There is no world. If you're just joining us, that is the central idea of A Course in Miracles. And you've never left your source. You may freely capitalize the S on that. So knowledge, as we're looking at the difference between perception and knowledge is stable. It's constant. It simply is. It's stable. It's permanent. It's eternal. Name your adjective. That's what it is. It's stable. We're not. We're not stable. We might think that we're stable. We may announce that we're stable. We may announce that we're really stable. But we're not here in the world. Anytime we experience change at all, anytime, anything that shifts or transforms or changes is not of God, because God simply is permanent, constant, unchanging. And we're not stable while we believe we're individuals. Think of your own flow of thoughts and feelings and emotions. We might have days, indeed we might have weeks at a time, where we feel relatively calm and cool, and we act cool, and everything's in flow, so to speak, and we just feel all right. But it doesn't take long before something comes along that we can, with the practice of this course, recognize as an opportunity for forgiveness because it pisses us off or makes us sad or intrudes upon the peace that we previously experienced. Now, anything changing is an illusion. This too. Yeah, doesn't mean don't take care of it. Go to the gym. If you like to work out, work out. If you want to lose weight, for example, do it. Do it, right? Remember, this is a communication device, is it not? It's a communication device used to communicate with the Son of God, everyone else, and yourself. We're one. There is one Son of God. This is a communication device. It is a tool. And how do you access your own power and your own strength to a much greater degree, which I know you want to do? Give it over to your inner teacher. Give this communication device, mechanism, tool. It's funny to call ourselves a tool, isn't it? But give it over to your inner teacher for the purposes of healing. And when we really do that, we can rest assured that what we say and what we do is going to serve the highest, best interest, the greatest good possible in every circumstance, past, present, and future, throughout space and time. Of ourselves, can we guarantee that? Of course we cannot. No way. No way. So while we are not stable as ego clingers, we're perfectly stable as God created us. Ideas leave not their source. A knowledge is stable. We have never left our source, and we are spirit, eternal, exactly as God created us. That is stability. That's who we are here in the world. We're simply having the opposite experience, even though we may get glimpses of stability. We might, right? Maybe you've had some that are very, very profound. People get them, for sure. And if you're not getting them, who's to say you won't? Who's to say you won't? Who knows when awakening, enlightenment is going to occur in time? Who knows in this thing that we call time? What we can rest assured of is that it's already happened. You've never left your source, ever. So that's how we use our own strength, how we access more of it, is give everything in our experience over to our inner teacher, surrender, relax, and trust. And if you truly and honestly do this, think that eventually you'll find that it's really a relief. It's profoundly relaxing. And if you've had that experience, you know what I mean. Just knowing that your inner teacher has your back and you're doing as instructed, really. You're doing the will of God, which, by the way, is your own. All right. This is the subscription button, and I would love to have you. Thank you all for tuning in and for your comments and questions. There have been a number of really, really excellent comment threads lately. Some of the comments keep disappearing. I'm not sure why, but if you've got comments or questions here, feel welcome, please, to go ahead and leave them here. And when I see them, I will get back to you on them. So please feel welcome to do that. Also, the link to my Patreon page will be here in the comments for this video. That's where my live stream, which I intend to be a weekly live stream, is going to take place starting on February 11th. So that'll give us more time in one sitting, up to an hour with opportunity for live Q&A. That'll be on that platform. Check that out. I'll be back here on YouTube 5 or 6 days a week for the sake of consistency and learning, because we always learn every time we open A Course in Miracles, every time we watch a video about A Course in Miracles, there's always something that we're meant to hear. So both platforms shall continue. All right, so access your power, your strength, as much as you possibly can. All right, I will see you soon.